Good evening. Melissa Johnson here. Today is December 10th, 2025. Thank you for watching. Please like and share. Again, I am talking from the heart on all episodes. Sorry. Um, I will be saying things that are actual truth and factual. And then there's some things that I'll be saying that is what I think or what I believe. It doesn't mean that it's actually the truth. It's just what I think, what I believe. I try to make sure that I say, this is what I believe, this is what I think. Um, Today we're going to be talking about how do we win the midterms. We have been struggling with the elections this year. I know everybody wants to say that because Republicans are in charge, that anytime that happens, then the other party, Republicans, Democrats, whatever, whoever's in charge, the other party wins all the elections up into, you know, presidency or whatever. I just think that that's a poor excuse. Okay. That may be the past, but this is a different country than it was in the past. Okay. I think there's multiple reasons why we're losing these elections. I don't think it's because it always happens. Okay. We've had multiple things that were groundbreaking. We broke records, all these things that was non precedent. So I don't think that we should be losing any of these races. Okay. If we go by how Trump won all these counties, we should not be losing any elections right now. Okay. We should be winning all the elections and keeping power. Okay. Everybody wants to say that Trump is not doing what he said he's going to do. Okay. Not true. Okay. That's number one. Number one, Trump has done everything he said he was going to do. Okay. Guess who's not doing what they're supposed to do? Okay. Congress, the DOJ, the FBI, and the judges. Okay. So Trump can only do what he can do. All these other people have to be along with Trump and do all the things that he wants to do. Okay. We have the House and the Senate. We should be passing all these executive orders into laws. Okay. There's the problem right there. Okay. He signed what, 200, 300 executive orders, and what, 3 or 4 have been made into law. That means it's on Congress, not President Trump. And everybody wants to blame President Trump for everything. Okay. There's the first problem. Okay. Second problem is everyone keeps talking about Epstein files. Okay. I'm going to tell you how the law works. Okay. Now, this is how the law works. This is not me saying it. Okay. The law works is that they bring charges and they set up a court date and they have a trial. Okay. Now, since the Epstein files are since Epstein has passed away, it changes how we have to do things a little bit. Okay. But because Ghislaine Maxwell is appealing her case, there are a lot of things that are still have to be closed for her case. Okay. I know people think she's an awful person, but she's an American citizen. So guess what? She gets rights. Okay. Every single person that is an American citizen has the same rights. Okay. When you want to say this is a free country, every American citizen has the same rights. I know we don't want to feel that way. They're a pedophile, they're a murderer, whatever. They still have the same rights. Okay. If I get convicted of murder and I want to appeal it, I have the right to do that. Okay. That's just the way it works. That's how the government works here. Okay. And every single person has the same rights. I know everyone thinks that they shouldn't have the same rights because they're pedophiles, whatever, 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 but that's not the way it works. Okay. This is a country of laws. That's what makes this country so different from everyone else is we have a constitution and we follow the constitution. Okay. So because she's appealing, a lot of the documents cannot be opened, cannot be released until she has her trial for her appeal. Or they deny her appeal and tell her she can't appeal, which I doubt that'll happen because that's not usually how it works. They usually get to appeal, they get to go to court, and either they'll overturn it or they're going to do the same exact thing. She's going to go to court, she's going to go to jail for whatever sentence she got. I don't exactly remember her sentence, but whatever. Okay. So that's why some of these files cannot be released. Okay. People are so worried about these files, they're not worried about all the things that's hurting our country right now. Okay. I want justice for all these women. Believe me. Okay. I've had awful things to happen to me. I get it. Okay. And I didn't get justice. So I get it. Okay. And I want these women to have justice, but it's timing. It's all these things. Okay. Number two, if they release all the files they have and all these people are going to get indicted, what judges are going to prosecute them and put them in jail? What prosecutors are going to prosecute them and put them in jail? Right now, our system is so corrupt. You can put them in jail and file charges and put them to court and have a jury trial, and the judge is going to do nothing. None of the judges in this country are really conservative. They're not going to care. They're going to always go with the left. Okay. So this is another thing. If we prosecute these people and put them through a trial and they get off, they cannot be re-prosecuted. Okay. Double jeopardy. You can't. Once you're off, you're off. So then they get off and they get away with it. Okay. So these are the reasons why things are happening the way they are. Now, some of the things that might not be the reason. It might be they're hiding stuff. I don't know that part. I just know how the system works to an extent. I don't know every single thing about the law or the system, but I know the basics on how these things work. Just like I said today to a coworker on all the stuff about Candace, okay? She's naming 1,000 people. One of these people probably did do it. My opinion, I don't think it was Tyler Robinson, at least not by himself. Okay. Again, I don't know. I have no evidence. I just feel like he doesn't seem like he did it because he doesn't seem that put together to me to come off with that kind of plan. Just saying, just from that, not saying I know anything else. I'm going by the way he looked like he was doing things. He didn't have it together. Okay. Again, my opinion. I don't have any facts. I'm just stating my opinion about it. Okay. So, meanwhile, Candace is doing all this stuff and she's throwing all this stuff out. Number one, she's dividing the party. Okay. That's the main thing she's doing right now is she has the party divided and literally said she didn't care if we win the midterms. Someone that's a millionaire, multi-millionaire doesn't care because they don't live in the system. They don't live like we do. We do care. I do care if we win the midterms because I have to live in the regular society. She does not because she's a multimillionaire. Okay. She doesn't live under the same rules we do. She doesn't have to go to the same stores and pay the same prices. Okay. She's not going to be scrutinized and all this stuff because she could technically fall off the earth. She has enough money. She can go in hiding and just live on an island somewhere. Okay. So, like I said, my coworker and I got into it today because I said, even if any of this stuff is true, that Candace is saying it's hurting, number one, the trial. Okay. So, say, for instance, Tyler Robinson did actually work alone and assassinate Charlie Kirk. Okay. Now, with all this stuff going on, who's going to be the jury? Where are they picking the jury members? Okay. The jury is going to be so divided, so uncertain, and there's going to be reasonable doubt. So then it's going to let Tyler Robinson go free. So even if he was just a conspirator, he was a pawn, he was there, he's going to get off because of reasonable doubt. That's why all this stuff is just unnecessary. My opinion is she should have just waited until the court date, listened to the evidence. When she didn't agree with the evidence and stuff like that, then you start doing all this. Okay. We don't know what the evidence is. They may go in there and prove that he didn't do it. Okay. And prove that it was someone else. We have no idea. Okay. She doesn't know. She doesn't know the evidence. The only person that knows the evidence is Erica Kirk. She's the only one that's allowed to see the evidence. Okay. Next to kin, which is her. Erica Kirk is next of kin. She's seen everything. His own parents hasn't seen everything. Okay. Believe me, I had to do this when my mother passed away. They called me. They gave me all the information because they were investigating what happened to her. So they gave me, because I was next to kin, because she was not married and I'm the oldest. Okay. So that's how it works. Okay. Again, people that haven't had these things happen to them and don't do research has no idea what's going on. And they just flop off the mouth and say all these things and have no idea and don't do research. Okay. So this is the things that I'm saying hurts our party right now and is hurting our country. Okay. Again, definitely want the Epstein stuff to come out. Definitely want to know if it was somebody besides Tyler Robinson that assassinated Charlie Kirk. Yes, all important things. But if Charlie Kirk was here right now, he would be like, what is the main goal? Win the midterms. Okay. That is our goal. His goal was always win elections. That is what he did. He went to college campuses. He enrolled these kids to vote. He worked on changing their mind so that they would vote Republican. That was what he did. Okay. That's what is important. Winning these elections. Okay. I'm going to tell you what happens if we lose the House or the Senate, either one or both. Okay. We will get nowhere. Okay. None of the bills or the executive orders or any of that will be passed. Okay. None of it will become laws. So we wasted a whole year trying to get these things passed. Okay. Trump is going to be impeached, put through court, all these things. So nothing's going to get done because all they're going to do is waste our tax dollars to impeach, because they're going to impeach everybody. Everybody they're allowed to impeach that's on the Republican side. Okay. Or indict everyone. They've already said it. They've literally came out and said what their plans are. And yet we sit here and think they don't have a plan. They do. They say it. Watch CNN, watch MSNBC, watch all these things. They say what their plans are. Okay. We sit here in a bubble and think we got it good. We're living the life right now. Trump's president. Again, he's not a dictator. He can't do anything without Congress. He can't do anything without the DOJ. He cannot do anything without the judges. Okay. If he was a dictator, like everyone thinks, believe me, this country would be running a way different right now. Okay. All the illegals would be gone. All the taxes would be gone. Tariffs. Okay. Be running way different. He is not. He's following the law. Okay. The economy, again, cannot be fixed in 10 months. Everyone's like, oh, he's not fixing the economy. Okay. Everything's going to go slow because it was so bad. Okay. And a lot of the things are not going to come down. Okay. If it does, it's not going to be a lot. Okay. The only thing that really President Trump can control is gas prices, energy, probably food prices. I would say he can probably control a little bit because the gas and the energy can bring down grocery prices, because that's why they go up a lot, is because of the energy and the gas goes up. So then, we have to pay more energy to run the grocery stores, the restaurants, and then pay more for gas to get the products to the store. Okay. So then those go up. Okay. So if we get those down, the prices will come down some. But honestly, do you think these restaurants and these grocery stores are going to lower their prices a lot? They're not. Okay. People are buying it for the price they're buying it. Why would they lower it? Like if you're Burger King and people are paying $13 for a meal right now, why would they lower it? You're paying $13. You're going to pay $13 anyway because you're doing it. Okay. So that's what people need to realize. There's only certain things that's going to change in the economy. Okay. We either get more income, which is what he is doing. He cut all these taxes. We will see it when we do our refunds. Okay. We'll see because, of course, because the one beautiful bill was in the middle of the year, they had to wait to this year. Next year for us to fix it. And then after that, the taxes will start getting less and less and less. That does increase our income. So once we have that and our income increases, then that'll help with the pricing. Because again, like I said, the energy is going to come down, the gas is going to come down, possibly some groceries will come down. But overall, cars aren't going to come down, because why would they? People are paying $30,000 for a car right now. Why would they lower it? You're going to pay $30,000. You're doing it right now. So why would they lower the price? It doesn't make any sense. There's no reason to lower the price if we're already paying $30,000 for a car. These people are making bank right now. Why would they lower it? Thank you for everybody that's watching. So there are just things that we can't control, at least not yet, because it's not going to fix itself that fast. Okay. It took Joe Biden to ruin this country in 4 years. So it may take 4 years to fix it. Okay. We are looking better. Again, I'm going to say where I live on the Tennessee-Georgia line. Okay. Gas here, it goes up and down, but it's roughly $2.30, $2.40, $2.50-ish, something like that. It's up and down. Okay. And then my electric bill, I have a 4-bedroom house. My electric bill was $106. 4 people live in this house. We have 5 people technically. When my husband's home, when he works out of town. So technically 5 people live in this house. We have a 4-bedroom house. The electricity was $106. We don't have gas. We just have electricity. It's $106. Now, the water and the sewer are a lot higher. They're corrupt. Okay, so that's a whole different ball game. I've argued and screamed and hollered at them multiple times. That's just where I live, and they're just corrupt. Okay, but like I said, the electric bill was $106. Okay. So that's what, if we would just realize that it's going to take time, things are getting better. It's just not a microwave. Okay. We can't hit the start button and it's finished in a day. Okay. That's not the way it works. It took 4 years to mess this country up this bad. It's probably going to at least take another year to at least maybe to start feeling. A lot of people think once we get our tax refunds, people will start feeling relief and they'll start feeling better about the economy. Okay. So there's so many different things that affect the economy, and people don't have patience. They just think it's going to be like boom. When nobody was really complaining about what the Democrats were doing for 4 years, everyone just sat back and let it happen. Nobody was complaining. Nobody was saying they were going to do all these things, fighting with each other. I mean, no. The things that people are doing now way worse than the way anyone acted for 4 years. Okay? People complied with masks, people got vaccinated, people stayed at home, people social distanced, people didn't go see their family, and they just got in line. Now, all of a sudden, everybody wants to fight and argue and complain about the way things are going. Honestly, this country looks better now than it did 4 years ago in 2021. Okay. So it's going to get better. We just got to be patient because it's a process. Again, we have so much corruption that's slowing the process down. Okay. The lefty Lulus don't want this country to get better. So they're doing everything to keep it from getting better. That's their whole objective. So if we could vote them out in the midterms, after that, we'd be smooth sailing. Just get the lefty Lulus out. But instead, we're fueling the fire. We're literally giving them a reason to think they're going to win because we can't be together in alliance. We're fighting each other about stuff that's not even important right now. Okay. It is important, but it's not like we lose the midterms. We lose a lot. Okay. We lose a lot. People don't realize that how much we're going to lose. Okay. So that's my little spew about the elections. Okay. We keep losing right now because number one, we're infighting. We're split between America First, MAGA. I don't even know right now. Everyone's just fighting. And then Republicans don't get out and vote. Okay. We have to vote in every single election. All the local ones really affect us. Okay. The president doesn't affect our everyday lives. The mayor, the city council, our Congress and stuff that's inside of our state, that affects our lives every single day. People need to realize that. Our taxes go up in our city and our state because of our local people, not because of Donald Trump or the Congress. It's because of our local people that raise our taxes. Okay. And I know for a fact, I live on the Tennessee-Georgia line. So I go in and out of both states because it's right here. And I have lots of friends in both states. And they, the taxes just went up here. Okay. We don't own our house. We're renting. Okay. So we didn't know that the taxes went up, but they went up. And guess why? Because people probably didn't show up to vote. Oh, I know they didn't, because in Georgia, they lost 2 red seats that were red for 30 years and they turned blue, and they're commissioner seats. That is definitely going to affect Georgia more than who's in the White House. So these are the things that we need to be thinking about. The little city council, the board of education, the commissioners, they're the people that affect your everyday life. So we need to be showing up. All Republicans, not 20%, because that's what's been going on. And the Democrats are winning because they're showing up. Because they're winning by small amounts. Like last night in Miami, it was 30,000 people voted. I know a lot more than that lives in Miami. So you got to just realize everyone needs to vote in every election. Show up. Because every single election affects your lives, not just the president of the United States. But that's all I'm going to say about elections, because I want to get into some other stuff. Okay. Number one thing I want to talk about is our First Amendment right. I'm going to read you the First Amendment. Okay. So that you know what your right is. And the reason why I'm doing this is because in Europe, they're locking people up because of freedom of speech. They're putting people in jail for life for saying an F word that's not even the real bad F word. Okay. So this is what it mainly says, but I'm going to read the whole thing. Okay. So the First Amendment to the United States Constitution states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abiding the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of the people peacefully to assemble and to petition the government for a readdress of grievances. Okay. That's just like the gist of it. And then, okay, so then it says it again. And then it says freedom of religion. Okay. Prohibits Congress from establishing a religion, protects the right to practice religion freely. Freedom of speech ensures individuals can express themselves without government interference. There you have it. Okay. So whatever I say right now should not get me locked up. Okay. No matter what I say on this podcast, by the First Amendment, I cannot be arrested. If I am, they're violating my right and they're going to be sued. Okay. Because right here it says, ensures individuals can express themselves without government interference. Freedom of the press. Well, they have freedom, but I'll read it anyway. Protects the right to publish information and opinions. So again, you can publish things and not be arrested for it because you have the right to say your opinion. Okay. Because that's pretty much what it is. Okay. Right to assembly guarantees the right to gather peacefully, not mostly peacefully, or demonstrations or protest. Okay. So that's what that is. And then right to petition allows individuals to make complaints to or seek assistance from the government. Okay. So I'm not really sure about what that exactly means. It doesn't really specify. I'm guessing if you want to send a grievance to the government, you have a right to do that. Okay. Doesn't mean they're going to care, but you have a right to send them a grievance saying, I don't agree with what you do. I guess that's when we call our representatives or send them letters or send them emails. Again, they don't care, but we have the right to do it. Okay. So this is the First Amendment. This is what our rights are. People need to know their rights. They need to understand their rights. Okay. My main thing is what I want to talk about again, of course, is freedom of speech. Okay. I'm going to tell you my story at my job. Again, this is a job. This is not the government. This is not the law. But this really makes me appreciate the freedom of speech from the government. Okay. The only thing is it keeps you from getting arrested, but it doesn't keep you from being canceled, being doxxed, being fired. Okay. Which I don't think is right. Okay. If it keeps you from getting arrested, then I feel like you should be able to just do it. Back in the day, you could, I don't know how many people are watching, but I was born in the 70s. In the 80s, some of those sitcoms that I used to watch, they were pretty racist against white and black people. And nobody ever cried and boo-hooed and canceled the shows and all this stuff. That never happened. People thought it was hilarious. Both blacks and whites. I think they're hilarious still. Sometimes I still watch them. if they're on a show, if they're on anywhere, because they're probably canceled after all these years because people get offended. So, okay, so my job, I worked at my job for 7.5 years. I was an assistant manager. One day, I was called into the office, and the district manager was in there and the store manager. They said, someone reported you to legal. And I was dumbfounded because honestly, I didn't really say things that I really wanted to at work because I knew that some of the things would get me fired. I knew that if I talked about politics, if I talked about God, like I really didn't talk about God unless someone asked. I just showed the love of God. I would buy people gifts, I'd bring in treats, I, do special things for people that I knew they liked, but I didn't really talk about God because I was like, they probably would fire me. I don't know. Um, but anyway, so when they said you've been uh referred to legal and then said we're going to ask you these questions and just answer these questions. And the first question was, um did you say that your boss, I won't say her name, they said her name, of course. Did you say she was talking about you? Blah, 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 blah. So pretty much gossiping. Okay. I wanted to be like, no, we're not middle school, but I just said, no, I was not doing that. And then the second question was, did you say an action of a customer was retarded? Okay. That was what it was. An action of a customer was retarded. Okay. Now, honestly, I did say I don't know. Okay. Because I do say that's retarded a lot. Okay. That's just the way I grew up. And that's what I've done for all these years. Okay. Don't call people retarded, but I do say, oh, that's retarded. Okay. And that's probably what I said. And someone would say, didn't like that I used that word. Okay. Again, did not call the customer. They said an action of the customer. So I didn't say the customer. Okay. Again, if I had, then I might have understood why someone reported me to legal. Okay. I would get it. Although I have a right to say it, I would understand if they would have sent me to legal. And then the third question was, were you talking about someone that's homosexual? And I said, no. Of course, I would never talk about people that are homosexual. That's their business. I don't agree with it, but I would never be rude to them, talk about it, or, say anything about it. And so I said no. And she said, okay, well, you're being investigated. We'll let you know. I was about to go on a missions trip. So she said, just go on vacation, which, of course, I had to put in vacation. So she said, go on vacation. Pretty sure she knew what I was doing. But she said, just go do on vacation. When you get back, I'll let you know, whatever, whatever. Okay. So this was a Friday and I was leaving to go on my mission trip on Wednesday. So she came in on Tuesday, which was before my vacation, and said that not we. I'm trying to remember exactly how she didn't say we. She said, I think she said they. They think that you were unethical and can no longer employ you. Okay. So I'm assuming she meant Aldi and not her. Okay. So I never saw paperwork. I never found out who actually reported me, what exactly I said, or anything like that. And none of that seemed like anything you should be fired for. I had never been in trouble before. I had never called out sick in 7.5 years. I went to work with 2 broken toes. I went in for everyone when they were calling out. I went in when it was snowing and I slid all over the road. I had no negative marks but this. Okay. That's the only reason why I'm saying all this stuff. So you would realize, well, maybe she was a slacker and they just wanted a reason to fire. Okay. Not the reason. I worked at every store in the district. If they needed help, every manager knew who I was. Not the case that I was a slacker and they just wanted to get rid of me. They could have just said that, honestly. You're not doing a good job. We're getting rid of you. That would have been a lot better than them saying all this stuff. Number one, they made me sound like, homophobic, uh, rude. I don't even know what you call somebody that calls people names, whatever. Again, I don't care, but it's just the point of we've come down to all this we can't say, okay? The Constitution says technically we can. I get it says we can't be arrested, but realistically, we have the right to say whatever we want. That's the purpose of living in this wonderful country, is we have rights. So just remember that, again, this is something that will be affected if we lose the House and Senate. Okay? They will come after every single one of our rights. Okay? We will be England, France, all these European countries. If you don't know what's going on, you might want to look it up. Okay? Like I said, they're throwing people in jail for saying words. Like I said, the F word, not the bad one. Okay? They're throwing them in jail for life. They're getting life for something they said. Not, they didn't kill somebody. They didn't rape someone. They didn't rob someone. Okay? Because people that do that, they get off. They're on the streets. Okay? That's what I'm saying. We need to be paying attention to what's important in this country. Okay? All the things that people are worried about are important. They're just not the most thing that's important right now. Okay? Losing our country is what's important. If they can do this in Europe, they can do it here. Okay? We already have how many Muslims in seats right now? Like 50. 50 hold some kind of government seat. And that's all that I know off the top of my head. 50. I mean, 3 of them are in the House. So how many are in your area that hold your seats in your like city, your state? Not even talking about the US Congress, just your local stuff. You don't even know, because if you're not voting, you have no idea. So that's what I really wanted to talk about today. Mostly is just we need to get together what's important. Okay? Come together, back as a party. Come back. Get it together. Okay? What's important to the middle class, everyday people is our rights and prices. Okay? People that are rich don't care if this country goes to, what is it, hell in a handbasket. Okay? They don't care about that because they're elite. They're millionaires. They can live off a grid. They can be in Martha's Vineyard. They don't have to live like we will. Okay? Because they're rich. But everyday Americans that are working class, we're going to suffer. We're the ones that are going to be thrown in jail because we use retard or whatever words they don't like. Okay? So this is what we have to remember when we're sidetracked by all the things that all the other people want to talk about. So that's my little episode today, was just please, please, please refocus on what's important in this country. And please know when you're having special elections, when you're having local elections, and please, please, please go vote. Every election matters, not just the President of the United States. Again, the local elections really affect your life more than the President of the United States. So that is my little rant for today. Thank you for watching. Please like and share. Please, because I know there's lots of people that need to hear this. It's not just the 5 or 6 people that are watching. Thank you so much for watching. But it's more people that might see this tomorrow or the next day. Please like and share. I'm doing this just so people hear the truth, get knowledge, start to research, whatever helps people to get involved. That's what I'm doing this for. I care about this country. I love this country. My children are grown. They may eventually, hopefully, get married and have children. I want them to have good lives, not be under the thumb of the government. People didn't fight and die for this country for that. So, thank you for watching. Please like and share. I am going to do this tomorrow night. I'm going to try to do a little early. I'm about to go out of town, so my week has been crazy. I've been Christmas shopping and shopping for the house so that the kids that aren't going, they have things to eat and all this stuff. So I've been running like a crazy person. That's why it's so late. So tomorrow, hopefully, I'll be a little bit early, but I will not be on at all this weekend because I will be out of town visiting family. It's our Christmas party. And that is all for the evening. So I hope you have a blessed night. Thank you for watching, and God bless America.